Well, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I thought I'd talk about a very interesting topic that kind of came to my mind, and I wanted to ask you guys the same question, which is, are all of us, mainly above the age of 25, maybe even older, too old for Call of Duty? Now, are we too old for Call of Duty? Now, is Call of Duty even made for us anymore? I thought this was an interesting topic to discuss, one that I kind of thought of by myself. I haven't really seen this spoken about in the community. I have seen things here or there where people say, you know, like some of the things in the game, such as like the lasers and the characters and the things they put in the store are all built for children and stuff, which I totally understand. I'm going to talk about that more, but I also want to talk about like gameplay elements. Is Call of Duty actually made for the older Call of Duty player, the people who are like 25, 26, 27. Me personally, as a 26-year-old about to become 27, I asked this in my stream and I got comments like, you know, you're becoming old in the sense of Call of Duty. And I was kind of taken back by that, but like I sat there and I was like, maybe I am. Maybe I am not what Call of Duty wants anymore. Maybe this game's, or the current games, the modern era of Call of Duty just isn't built for me, you, anyone watching this video above the age of 25. And I know I'm saying 25, I think that's a bit of a low number to say, but everyone, I would say, believes that a lot of people who play Call of Duty are below the age of 18 and are in and around that 18 to 25 mark, you know, kind of where the best players are at, the ones who can slide cancel, can do all this crazy movement and take advantage of the crazy mechanics that are now in Call of Duty compared to what we had years ago with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Many of you watching this video will know what those games are. Some of you guys watching this video might not know what those games are. You know, some of you might actually have heard of them but never played them. And most of the people who I do believe watching this will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, MW2, MW3. You'll know what I'm talking about. But we have grown up in the era where there are some people who are now playing Call of Duty who have never ever played those games. And they have grown up only with the sort of slide cancelling era, the Call of Duty Warzone era. And I want to talk about that today. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the first thing that kind of makes me believe that Call of Duty isn't really made for the older player anymore. It's not made to sort of take care of and, you know, allow the older players, the people who grew up with the original Call of Duty games, to sort of want to enjoy and play the current model of Call of Duty games and even like take advantage, you know, and keep those types of players around. But currently, I'm looking at it right now. I've got the store on my screen. You can't see that. Obviously, you've got a gameplay going on in the background, which I hope is showing that I'm not too old yet, okay? I'm still decent on the sticks. I'm still nice on the sticks, even if I'm turning 27. But you got the store here, and I'm looking at everything. And don't get me wrong, there is obviously the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is in here, which if you're someone who's below the age of 18, you're probably not really going to know or have ever watched them unless there's like a movie that's come out recently that I don't know of or something. You know, I'm not really a movie guy. I don't keep up with too much. But there's some things in here that you would say are more built for people who are young. There's things like blue see-through characters, like unicorns, stuff like that. It's all very child-friendly, you know? None of it doesn't seem to be for the older Call of Duty player. Now, there are moments where they do actually, though, build stuff and make stuff for the older Call of Duty players that do kind of lead to, you know, how would I put it? Catering for both. They cater for the young audience, cater for the older audience. For instance, weed camos, weed, you know, characters, you name it. All that sort of stuff. The typical Call of Duty generic character, you know, Snoop Dogg, etc. Something that both the young and the older audience sort of like gets and wants in the store bundles. But most of the time when I'm seeing like things in the store, I just think this is built for a child. This is built for someone who probably isn't supposed to be old enough to play the game. And I'm not going to sit there and white knight and say, you know, if you're younger than 18, you shouldn't play the game. End of the day, people watching this video who are 25 and older, we all played Call of Duty when we were about 12, right? Let's be honest, we all did it. Didn't matter about the 18 rating of the game. We all sat there and played Call of Duty when we were young back in the day in MW2, MW3. We were the squeakers in the lobby, but now we're all older now, you know? Including myself. We're all 15 years on from Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1. And the game has changed. And it's just completely different to what it used to be years ago. The slide cancelling and that's now here. The changes to how things work in general in the entire Call of Duty scene. And for instance, now I want to talk about like the gameplay and how I think the gameplay doesn't even cater for the older player anymore. Let's talk about things like the slide cancelling, the increased movement speed, which I do want personally because I do like the idea of like speeding up Call of Duty and making it a fun, fast, you know, FPS first-person shooter. But there comes a point where it becomes maybe too fast, where maybe we're adding too many elements that just don't cater for everyone to be able to play Call of Duty and enjoy Call of Duty. And I know people are going to say, well, skill gap, right? Where's the skill gap? I get that. But games like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, they had a skill gap too. And those were done in many different ways that didn't need you to bash like 6 different buttons in order to perform a slide cancel, or be able to backwards dolphin dive, etc., or lay on your back, like slide backwards or slide on your side. You didn't have to do all these crazy things that you do nowadays. And even now, like, people obviously go out and get the best internet, get the best PC setups, get the best like controllers, control freaks, and Elite Series controllers, scuffs, you name it, all these things that you have to have in the modern era, that most people who are older, who, you know, got jobs, etc., aren't going to go out of their way and pay for, because Call of Duty is just, quite simply, it's a video game, right? It's always been a video game. But it seems to be built more towards the competitive side, built more to be more sweaty. The skill-based matchmaking obviously exists, which does, in fairness, supposed to, and I say supposed to because it doesn't really most of the time, cater and help those lesser skilled players and players who are probably older and can't keep up with the pace of the game like they used to. Now, again, I'm not saying that as someone who, you know, can't keep up with the pace of the game. We've seen on this channel, I can drop a few gameplays here or there, but I'm getting to that point. I'm 27, right? I'm going to get older. My reactions are going to get slower. Obviously, I'm still probably going to be playing this game well into my 30s, maybe even make it to my 40s. And I know there's some people who've even commented on my channel saying that they're like a 50-year-old gamer, 60-year-old gamer, and that's nice to see. If you're still playing Call of Duty and you're 50 plus years old, let me know in the comments down below. I want to know. A shout out for the older generation, right? But here we are, Call of Duty in the modern era. I don't think it's built for us, and I can understand why Activision probably makes things the way they are, like with like colorful characters and all these crazy little store bundles, and the way the movement's made to be having a skill gap and have all these extra buttons and stuff that you have to press in order to perform like these extra movement stuff. And I'm not saying Call of Duty is a complicated game either. It simply isn't. Call of Duty is not the most complicated game in the world. You can still play the old way of posting up on a head glitch, you know, kind of what I'm doing in this video as well. You're not going to see me slide cancel around and do crazy movement all the time, because simply I just haven't got the hands built for that. Even at the age of 26 going on 27, I just don't have the hands for that. And again, I'm talking like I'm massively old in actual life terms. Like in life terms, I'm not really that old, right? 26, 27 ain't that old. It just isn't. But in a Call of Duty standpoint, it kind of is. And I've had my fair share of moments where I've played people who I'm going to assume are younger, right? Because of the movement they do on my screen, right? I play good players and they are absolutely out of this world, like good, like, and to the point that some people probably call them hackers, but I know they've just got really good movement. They're really good at the game, and they're probably quite young and have that ability to do all those things with the hands, with the reaction times that they have nowadays. And I just thought I'd make an interesting piece. I kind of want to discuss it, you guys. Like, do you think Call of Duty is no longer for the older player? Do you think Call of Duty completely alienates the older player now with the way it is made? And again, I know older people still play the game and still enjoy the Call of Duty. Like myself, I enjoy Call of Duty as well. Regardless of whether Black Ops 6 is a success to most people or hated to most people, you're still eventually going to find a Call of Duty game that you do like and enjoy. Obviously, this is kind of controversial in a way as well, because we did have MW2 one year, right? And MW2, I would say, was a game that was built towards that slower-paced, head glitch sort of environment, which kind of did go back to that older way of movement and stuff, but didn't go very well. It wasn't very well received, and maybe that angered the more younger player base that there's going to be more of. There's going to be more of that younger player base. You know, older people obviously either stop gaming entirely, don't play you know, Call of Duty forever sort of thing. And obviously with the younger generation, in Activision's eyes, that means money in the longer term, right? If you've got someone who's 18 playing the game, you've got another 10 years possibly of milking that person for money, right? Compared to an older player who is, say, 35, you don't know how much longer they're going to play the game for. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments, what do you think about that as a broad statement? Do you think, are you too old for Call of Duty? Are we too old for Call of Duty now? Is Call of Duty even made for us anymore? Does it care about the older people who play the game? I thought it'd be an interesting point to talk about today. So you guys let me know down below, what do you think when it comes to that? Do you think we are, or you are, too old to play Call of Duty? Let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.